Today we're talking about record store dollar bins. Do you bother with them? Why or why not? Have you ever hit the dollar bin jackpot? Let's talk about that coming up next.
Channel 33, RPM, yeah, 33, RPM, Channel 33, RPM, yeah, Vinyl Gear Network.
Hi, my name is Frank. Welcome back to Sundays on Channel 33 RPM, your channel for vinyl gear and more. If you don't follow Channel 33 RPM on social media, check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I update throughout the week. Now, to be honest with you, I've generally avoided dollar bins, but I have started checking them out lately. I found a few really cool things that have surprised me. I want to show you that coming up in a bit, but first let's talk more about dollar bins in general. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Serious question. This is for my friends in Europe and England. In those parts of the world, what do you call the dollar bins in Europe? Are they Euro bins? What do you call them in the UK? Pound bins? Let me know in the comments below. So, as I said at the top, I generally have avoided the dollar bins, and I'll tell you why. The few times in the past I had checked them out, there's a lot of garbage in there. I mean, these are in record stores, and record store owners generally know the good records, the valuable records, from the bad. They're checking discogs, they're just from their own experience. They're not going to put much good stuff, if any, in the dollar bins. You're going to find a couple of things. You're going to find the typical thrift store cast-offs, things like whipped cream and other delights. Not that there's anything wrong with whipped cream and other delights. I have a copy or two myself, and I think every record collector should have that record in their collection. But it's a lot of that kind of stuff. Kenny Rogers, those sort of cast-offs. The other thing you're going to find in the dollar bins is the scuffed up, scratched up, beaten up records. Now, I'm not into that kind of stuff at all. I know a lot of record collectors say that they like the snap, crackle, and pop of vinyl. Truthfully, that's not for me at all. I look for VG Plus, again, in general, at a minimum, and I prefer, obviously, near mint, because I want to minimize that surface noise. That's just not it for me. So those are the reasons that I've been avoiding the dollar bins. And truthfully, I found more, because we all like to go in the wild, we like to go crate digging, and I found my best luck crate digging at thrift stores and at garage sales. More so maybe 5-10 years ago, but even in recent years. And that's because you never know when someone's going to dump off a collection, and you're hoping for that thrift store worker who doesn't really know what he or she is doing and puts like this absolute stunning, rare, or just those records that you want. They put that out there and they charge you $1 or $2. Again, it's not happening as much now as it did in the past. Even the thrift stores are getting more educated. They know what has a value. And also there's more people kind of digging through those bins. There's more demand for that. There's more flippers. There's more people like you and I who are just looking for records for their collection. So it's dried off a bit, but I'm still finding some stuff in the thrift stores. Which brings me back to the dollar bins. This is why I figured I'm going to try hit the dollar bins again, because you never know what you're going to find in there. Maybe it's something good. And I have this wall in my garage, and I kind of want to fill it with album covers. So to me, in that case, the quality of the vinyl doesn't matter as much. It could be missing the record for all I care. And the jacket, yeah, you want it to look as good as possible, but it doesn't have to be pristine. This is kind of my mindset when I started flipping through the dollar bins. And I was actually pleasantly surprised at what I found. I go to this one record store here in town pretty much every Saturday. I bring one of my daughters to piano lessons, and I kill half an hour talking to the owner. Super cool guy, and I kind of check out what he has, and he tends to have some pretty decent stuff in the dollar bins. I'm going to show you, right now what I picked up. Again, I'm not going to retire on any of these records, but remember that my intention was to pick these up to hang them on the wall of my garage. And again, I was really surprised with what I got. First one I found, again, this is for $1. This is the Rolling Stones, pardon me, I'm tongue-tied. The Rolling Stones, England's newest hitmakers. I'm not sure if you can make it out, but look at the quality, the condition of this jacket. I mean, this jacket's almost too good to hang up in the garage. There's a seam split along the bottom, which is easy enough to fix with a little bit of glue. There's the back. Now I posted this on Facebook and Instagram, and some of you are asking if this was the original 1960s pressing. It's not. You can see right there, it's got the polygram on it. So, but it doesn't have a UPC code, so I'm gonna guess it's from sometime in the 70s. It's on London. It's thinner vinyl though, and there's a big scuff on here. If you look at that, this side's not looking too bad, but the scuff, I don't even know if you can make it out. It's right there. But overall, not bad at all for $1. In fact, I'm thinking this might be too good to put up in the garage. So I'm going to fix that seam split. I'm going to clean up this record and give it a spin to actually see how it sounds. Here's another one from the Buck Bin. I loved this movie soundtrack. This is Beverly Hills Cop. And actually, I think I owned, well, I know I owned this on vinyl before. You'll see some of these records I already owned. But again, my motivation was for the garage. So now I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. I might VCLT them, trade them. Anyway, check this one out. Like the jacket is very nice, talking VG+, but the record was in remarkable condition. I actually ran this one through the spin clean. Well, check this out. Well, that is a solid VG+. Not a scuff on there, not a scratch, and the surface noise is quite minimal, so pretty happy to find this one for $1. Now this one, this is Motley Crue. You never see Motley Crue in the dollar bins. This may not be their best record. In fact, I would say it's their worst record of the 80s, but for $1, I was really happy. Motley Crue Theater of Pain. I don't know if you can make it out. The price tag, it says $1. I put in these sleeves from Vinyl Storage Solution, which make the covers pop a little bit more, but this is in VG plus condition at least. Then check out the record. This is at least VG as well. I got these inner sleeves again from Vinyl Storage Solutions. Maybe it's VG plus. Again, I don't know how well this translates onto video, but it looks really nice to the point where I'm actually going to do an A-B comparison with a copy of Theater of Pain I currently own, and I'll see which one is most worth hanging on to. Another one, this is my favorite female rocker, man. The first time I saw her, I thought she's got more balls than most dudes out there. This is Joan Jett with her major breakthrough, I Love Rock and Roll. And I found that Motley Crue, this one, and the next record I'm going to show you on the same day. I cleaned them up, as I said, and the records were kind of dusty and dirty, but when I shined up those records, they weren't half bad. This one I actually put in a MoFi sleeve. Check this out. Beautiful record for $1. And I got David Lee Roth's Skyscraper. I know that Mr. Hoffamy was showing this on his channel recently, and he just picked up Skyscraper, and a good point. So for those of you not overly familiar with David Lee Roth's solo output, this was his second full-length solo album following the phenomenal, the absolutely smoking album Eat 'Em and Smile. I mean, he had assembled one of the best bands out there, Steve Vai, Billy Sheehan, and Greg Bissonette. His follow-up was a little bit disappointing. Again, check this cover out. That's a solid VG+. And again, the vinyl looks just fantastic. Side A and side B. So those are the records I picked up, and this has sort of changed my whole perspective on the dollar bins. Not that I expect to or have found these sorts of records every time I've hit the dollar bins, but I think it gives me hope, and hopefully it gives you guys hope that if you're persistent and kind of give these cheap bins a chance, you just may find something worth taking home. All right, guys, that's been my experience with the dollar bin and some of my recent successes. Let me know what you think of the dollar bins in the comments below. What are some of the best records you've ever found in the cheapo crates? I would love to know. We would love to know. Let's have a discussion. Otherwise, remember to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Otherwise, dear 33ers, I hope each and every one of you has a fantastic weekend. Until next time, keep on spinning.